Alright, this is the battle with Tiamat in the top of the Sky Palace, or Floating Castle, or however you prefer to do that. This one we're going to be talking a little bit about magic damage and magic accuracy and magic doubling and such. Let's take a look at the flavor text for Tiamat. We'll get the battle set up, and then we'll talk about magic and magic accuracy. So Tiamat here has no magic, but she does have skills. So she will use a skill 64 out of 128. So 50% of the time, Tiamat will use a skill. Now her skills are Thunder, Poison, Blizzard, and Blaze. Those are simply elemental damage of that element. So Thunder is going to be the first one she'll cast. That just does lightning elemental damage. Poison does the Poison Stone element. Blizzard does ice damage, Blaze does fire damage. Now, I can get protection from all of those. I have 3 ribbons in this fight. Ribbons will give me protection from all of those. The third character there does not have a ribbon. So the third character needs to have Bar Ice and Bar Elect cast in order to get protection from those 2 elements. The third character has the white shirt or the white robe equipped, which gives that character protection from fire. So now, the characters have all of the elemental protections I can grant, but you'll notice when Tiamat goes to the Poison ability, my third character will take a ton of damage because outside of the ribbons, I have no way to defend against Poison elemental damage as of right now. Certain items can grant that. Unfortunately, none of them can be equipped from the White Mage here. The spell Wall can protect from that. So here's Thunderbolt, which is just thunder, but it's doing between 50 and 60. Now that's quartered-ish. That's quartered of what it could be. So it could be doing about 200. So you can see how important it is to get protection from those. Now my third character can get no protection from poison, so unfortunately the poison ability, when it comes up, is just going to hit that character with full force, and there's nothing I can do about it except heal back. So you'll see a lot of use of the heal helmet and heal staff in this battle, as well as a few Kiragas. I am getting protection with the white robe here, the white shirt, to get Invis 2, which increases your evade by 40. And I'm using the Defender a little bit on that first character to get that character's evade up a little bit higher, because Tiamat does have 4 hits. Each one is accuracy of 80. The attack value is not too bad at 49, but still all 4 hits landing is not something we want. Tiamat does have Dragon type, so the Dragon Sword in this restored hack would do more damage to her, would be more likely to hit her, but unfortunately we don't have a way to do Dragon type damage now. Tiamat is famously weak to the Poison/Stone element, and that's what we're going to talk about here. I am not using the Bane Sword, or in this translation it's called the Razor, R-A-Z-E-R, sword to cast Bane, which is an easy way to one-shot kill Tiamat because she is famously weak to the poison element. Now, spells to hit in this game, and this is for both the elemental damage spells and for status spells. The base chance to hit is 148 plus the spell accuracy minus magic defense. If the target is weak to something, it adds 40 to that first one, so it's 188 plus the spell accuracy minus magic defense. Now, Tiamat happens to be, again, as we said, weak to the Poison Stone element, so that calculation would look like this. It would be 188 plus the spell accuracy. The spell accuracy of Bane is 40. Minus the magic defense of Tiamat. Now, Tiamat's magic defense is 200. It's quite large. It's 200. So the result of that calculation is 29. And just like a 2-hit roll on an attack, the game rolls a random number between 0, 0, and 200. So 29 out of 201 is about 14%. So the Bane Sword, or casting the spell Bane, would have about a 14% chance to just kill Tiamat outright. So you'll notice a lot of variations, or even just casual runs. We'll just pick up the Bane Sword earlier in this very same dungeon and just simply spam it every turn in hopes of getting that shot. It's maybe is it 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6 shot to hit Tiamat. So if you can survive a few rounds to cast that Bane Sword a few times, you can get her. Now I'm choosing not to do that on this one, although that would be something I could do. See, Flame's not doing very much because we all have elemental protection against fire. So the spell accuracy when it comes to damage spells goes to their chance to double. So if a spell is resisted, that is, this spell accuracy check does not hit, then the spell simply does a random number between the spell attack power and twice the spell attack power. So if the spell attack power is 10 and the spell is resisted, it'll do between 10 and 20. If it hits, quote-unquote hits, based on this spell accuracy check, it would do between 20 and 40 because it would multiply that random roll between 10 and 20. So it would roll, say, 18, and then that would be doubled. It wouldn't actually roll it twice. It would roll 18 or whatever, and then it would double it. Now, in this restored version, the programmers have added your intelligence stat to your chance to double. So that's how they have used the intelligence stat in this one. So I suppose it's added to your spell accuracy, although I'm not exactly sure which value they added that in, but that's the way that they chose to implement intelligence. Different hackers and programmers who have worked on this game have implemented the intelligence stat differently, because in the NES version of this game, the intelligence stat is totally bugged and does nothing. And it's unclear as to exactly what the designers wanted. The bug is so far off the mark that it's unclear as to how exactly they wanted to implement it. That's how I understand it. So different programmers have done different things with the intelligence stat. For example, for healing magic for the white mages, it works a little differently. The intelligence stat is added to the minimum they can do with healing. So the higher intelligence they get, the lower the floor is for the healing amount when they cast spells like Cure and Curaga in battle. So that's how spell accuracy works in this game. And in this particular hack, they did not build the intelligence stat into the chance to double when you cast spells with items. They did not build that in when you cast spells with items. So these white mages, when they use these items to cast Bolt 2 or Ice 2, they are doing less damage overall than, say, a black mage casting these spells, because the black mage would have a high intelligence stat that would more likely double these. Here comes Poison Gas. And you saw it did over 200 damage to that third position character, who was left with 4 hit points afterwards. That easily could have been a one-hit kill. So now we do have to get that character back up, and unfortunately there is nothing I can do to defend against that in this battle. The only way that I can get poison protection on that character would be to get the wall spell, which is I believe it's a level 8 spell. And that's actually going to be an issue with this run, because we're at level, I think it's level 19 for this Tiamat fight. And I think we get those level 8 charges in the mid-20s, so actually we're a ways away from getting those top-level spells. But that wall spell is going to be very important in my plan for the final battle. I'm not sure if I can do the final battle. I may be able to do it without that character. I might just sacrifice that character. So that's just thinking ahead a little bit beyond this battle, what I'm going to do. Rather than level up to get a level 8 charge, I may go into it and just plan to fight the final battle with 3 characters, because the final battle has some one-hit kills that are tied to elements that you can resist with the ribbons or with that wall spell, but without that protection, you have a character who's just kind of left out hanging, who will likely just get one shot by an all-targeting instant death spell with a very high accuracy. So we're working our way very slowly through the 1,000 hit points of Tiamat. Now, Tiamat resists fire, ice, lightning, and earth. So the damage spells that we can deal, Fire 2 from Mage Staff, Lightning 2 from Thor Hammer and Zeus Gauntlet, and Ice 2 from the Black Robe, are all going to be cut. So we're not going to be doubling on them very often, and we're going to be doing a lot less damage than we would to a creature that does not resist them. So that does make it tricky for us. She actively resists them, plus the magic defense of 200 really makes it difficult to double them anyway. So that's why the black shirt with Ice 2 is doing so little damage. Normally that has a higher base than the Fire 2, Bolt 2 spells. So the only real risk in this battle would be just running out of healing powers for that third mage. So if it came to that, I would probably just sacrifice the mage in the third position. and just stick to using the heal helmet and heal staff for the other 3, because Tiamat would have no way to really outdamage my heal helmet and heal staff with max evasion from the white shirt. She's still landing a few physical attacks when she does that, but Poison Gas actually rolled pretty nicely there at only 108. Could have been, as we've seen before, over 200, the poison attacks. So you can see how wildly varying magical attacks are in this game. But I believed that I had enough to keep all 4 of my white wizards alive throughout this battle. So I was using the Kiraga spells whenever I would get hit with the poison gas attack to keep all 4 of them alive. That would just speed the battle up a little bit, because all 4 white mages now, as you can see if you haven't noticed already, all 4 of them do have a way to deal direct elemental damage. We have the Mage Staff, the Thor Hammer, the Zeus Gauntlet, and the Black Shirt all spread out evenly between the 4. So all of them do have a way to cast 2nd level elemental magic. But unfortunately, Tiamat resists them all, and that's going to be a problem with our final boss as well. But with the final boss, I will have the Masamune, and I will be using that Power Gauntlet, or the Giant's Gauntlet, to power up the physical attack of the fighter that I select for that final battle. So that should be fun. I do plan to use the Masamune to take on Chaos, because his magic defense is very, very, very high, and without access to those top-level spells, it's going to be tricky. Fade, which is, I think, holy in this translation, may or may not be part of my plan, depending on whether or not I level up to the top-level magic. So Tiamat was, once we were established in this fight, Tiamat was just a matter of whittling down 1,000 hit points. As you can see, 10 or 20 at a time. I think I've done up to the 30s in damage. But these rounds where I can safely have all 4 characters cast, I can get up near 100 damage per battle. And this flame spell is a rather favorable one, because I can't have all 4 characters attack to do more damage. But this has been kind of the defining characteristic of the white mages. They're white wizards now. Although if I don't end up leveling up to those top spells, it may have been not worthwhile to get them up to white wizards, since there's very little difference between white mage and white wizards outside of which spells they can use and what they can equip. Now, I believe the white mage might not be able to equip the white robe. I am just pulling that out of nowhere, so I could be wrong on that. So the fact that that 3rd position white wizard can use the white robe in lieu of another armor space for a bracelet, say another ruby bracelet, is important. Because that white robe has just as much defense and just as much absorb as the ruby bracelet. There he goes. So Tiamat's down. But I will be doing some shuffling of armor and equipment as we go on. Yeah, I just hit level 20 there, so I've got a few levels before I'm going to get those top level spells. So do keep an eye on the channel here. I'm recovering from a long battle. Nothing there. That's right, guys, nothing there. The emulator doesn't catch the graphic of the spirits that come out of the altars there. It's unfortunate that the emulator doesn't seem to emulate that animation correctly. You'll have to watch someone playing on a console to get a look at that. But do stay tuned, do subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think, get in touch. Be on the lookout for the finale of this game. I'm not sure how I'm going to break that up into videos, but follow the channel here and you will see how I put it together. In the meantime, we hope you have fun with Final Fantasy.